Hi, Michael Glennon from Glennon Capital. And today I'm going to elaborate on one of the things that we look for when we're assessing businesses to invest in, and that's the sustainability of the business. So what that means is we like to buy businesses that we know are going to be around in 3, 5, 10 years' time. And the importance of that is there's many businesses that are very different to what they were. They have several different life cycles. You look out there and there's businesses now that are tech companies that were resource companies back in the 2000s. They were tech companies, so we like to see businesses that we think have got a long history. We like to think when we're buying a business that we're going to buy that business, and if the market closed, we'd still be owners of the business, we'd be happy with management, and we'd be happy with the performance of the business. So some of the things that we need to be cautious of, we need to assess whether we think that the business's products are fad type businesses. There was a clothing retailer that was listed a couple of years ago. They had a very bad profit downgrade because that year no one bought printed t-shirts. Everyone was into this distressed look t-shirt. So we're cautious about businesses whose products are faddy, that we don't think will be around. All of a sudden, next year no one's buying that product, which happens with can happen in sort of high-end fashion type businesses. Another example of a business that's in sort of terminal decline is fixed line phone rental. If you go back through and you look at Telstra's split of revenue over the last 10 years, 10 years ago, the largest proportion of their revenue came from fixed line rental. Now it's moved towards data, and in the intermediate period before that was mobile revenue. So Telstra is not a business that we put a high value on because the business needs to keep reinventing itself. So, and there's constant changes in technology that mean you don't want to pay a lot for a business like Telstra. We mentioned in one of our other videos that we like businesses where there's barriers to entry, but you also need to be cautious that barriers to entry, if they're legislated barriers, can present a massive risk. And a very good example of that recently is if you have a look at CabCharge. CabCharge is a listed company, market darling many years ago because it operated in regulated markets. Taxi licenses were restricted, and so that gave CabCharge a very enviable position in the industry. But I don't think that you can sit on your laurels and rest around. If you have a look now at CabCharge's share price, it's come off immensely because Uber has entered into the market as a disruptor, and it's really changed the industry. So we like businesses that we think are going to be around for a long period of time. They're not going to get affected by changes in legislation. They're not going to get affected by changes in consumer preferences. And they're not going to be affected by things like seasonal changes in fashion. The other thing we mean about sustainable businesses is that we like a business. So aside from the client side of the business, a business that we think is going to be around for a long period of time because it hasn't got an overgeared balance sheet, it hasn't got excessive levels of debt, and there are things that come about because the business is well managed. We've seen time and time again businesses that have failed because they've been not managed well, they've had too much debt. So we like that conservatism in the balance sheet. That means that the business is sustainable, it's going to be around for a long period of time. It's not constantly having to work with its bankers to refinance debt, breaching covenants and things like that. So the sustainability of business is a very, very important thing to look for. I hope that's given you some more insights into businesses, sustainable businesses, and making sure that when you buy a business, it's going to be around for the next few years. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, please feel free to email us or ask us a comment below.